Are we
Okay.
live? I say we're going off what that guy said.
Yeah,
The post you shared.
yeah.
It was more of people complaining about the fact that he did it mostly in Islam, so right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live now.
They were like,
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, awesome.
I'll be in charge of the
Could
comments
you?
because I can't read the comments from this here.
Okay. Could you share on that group?
Yeah. Okay, let me open the browser and share on the group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, guys, and welcome to this episode of the Contrast Podcast. So, today, from the title, we're going to be talking about artists singing in their dialect. Now, this topic is termed off Mr. Leo's recent album, which he just dropped, The Lion of Africa. So, this is an album which has a lot of lamso in it, and it features a lot of artists who are, I would say, artists who have made it part of their brand to have a cultural inclination. And this album, definitely, he was trying to go back to his roots and trying to be original and trying to do something different from what he's usually known for. So, and the album, as usual, when things drop in the entertainment scene, it has diverse reviews. Some people like principally in his dialect. Some people love the fact that he's staying true to who he is. So we're going to be talking about that. But before we dive into should artists sing in their dialect, because we know Mr. Leo is not the only Cameroonian artist who sings in his dialect. So before we dive to talk about artists singing in their dialect and all that, let's first talk about Mr. Leo's album. We have listened to it, or we have partially listened to it, and I'm sure we all have our point of views. So let's start off with the ambassador. Maybe you first tell us about your week, how your week has been going, or your day has been going. Then you give us your review.
yeah. So for me, my day has been a little bit slow. For those who know, in the English part of Cameroon, I mean, it's 1st of October is Friday. For those who know what's up, I mean, it is what it is. You can't do much around here. Yeah, but a friend of mine lost his grandmom. So I went around there just to help out a little bit. So basically, that's been my day. But generally, the day and the week are really slow out here. So maybe next week, Tuesday, but yeah. Till after Friday, or maybe Saturday, things will get reactivated.
Yeah.
But out here, things are really slow.
The atmosphere there is tense.
Not tense, but just slow. So I tell people, like, people feel like it's because of some solidarity of the crisis, but I feel like it's more of there is no money yet. So people just, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess it. Okay, so tell us, what do you think of Lion of Africa by Mr. Leo?
Yeah, so I will be talking mostly from a general perspective because I've not critically listened to the album. I have got comments here and there. I have had he did a lot of live things, playing the music and then talking. I also like the way he pushed it out there, where he gathered a lot of momentum building towards the project. Mr. Leo is not known for going live too much or speaking too much. But suddenly we saw him a lot on social media. Then as soon as the album was out, I think he did a couple of lives with people like Loco, Stan Lieno, a lot of people, yeah. So I like the way he tried to push it to the next level. But also I like the fact that he's trying to represent the culture. I feel like it's the risque move he's making. He was already in his comfort zone from Ego Beta right up to Jamais Jamais to what's the recent thing he put now with Mozilla Daphne. So it was the Ego Beta vibe and the fuel just burning. So I feel like he has tried to, either he was feeling like he was getting stuck or something, I don't know, or he had some new team around him, but he's trying to make a new move, which is risky. And always, I tell people, like, he should not expect the fans to understand every strategy he's trying to make because we are not in those rooms with him. But he should know that, okay, when things start looking like they are good, fans will jump on board. That's who fans are. They are not the strategies. The masses don't think in a very logical way as the masses. but maybe individually they might think. So generally for me, I feel like it's a good move, but it's risky too. And for somebody who was expecting something of Mr. Leo seeing something else, there's that double feeling of, okay, this is not what I expected. That is nice, but it's not what I expected from you. There are other people that can get this from them, but from you, yes. So there's that double feeling of, it's nice, it's something new, it's nice, but this is not what I expected.
Okay, I get that. So, Delibi, what about you? What do you think of the album, and how was your day?
Okay, let me start with my day. Okay, my day was it was just there, like any regular day, and watching movies, drinking. Yeah, I drank today. Somebody gave me like, yeah, somebody wanted to drink today, and they just used the regular suspect, the person who, kind of turned down a bottle, and they just say, okay. Yeah, so my day had just been a regular day, just chilling and that. And also listening to Mr. Leo's album. And also listening to complaints from Cameroonians who say it's difficult for them to purchase it or the price of the album is too expensive for them. And I had a lot of complaints and even videos. I also requested guys to send of their complaints. They should send like 30 minutes to 1 minute, 30 seconds to a minute of the review of the album, what they think about the album. They should send it to me, and been getting complaints and all that. So yeah, and after listening to the album, my perspective changed. Not even the album, the last song he released, that J, that song. After listening to that song, I like that song. I mean, I enjoyed that song. That's, let me just say, personally, it's one of the best songs I've listened to Mr. Leo in a while. I know he has great songs, but from the past, he has had some, like, after like Amen, he has had Time. Time is for people who understand the concept of the song, what he's trying to show. Like that time there is trying to push out a message for people who digest music, who music enthusiasts who break music down. That Time will be like a masterpiece, right from the visuals to the audio. So yeah, Time also stood out. And the song he released, that I think J J J J J J. Yeah, that song. That song, most people criticize the song. Even me, I wasn't so hip to the song, but I understood what he was trying to do. After listening to the album, the sequencing made me vibe to that song more. Like it made me understand more. The sequencing, like the song that finished before that song, put me in a mood where I enjoyed that song more. That's one thing with sequencing of albums. So listening to the album, let's just say I may have a different opinion from so many people who have listened to the album, because I'm a music enthusiast. I like breaking down music, and this just proves that Cameroonians don't listen to music to learn anything.
No.
Cameroonians just listen to music because they want to have a great time and they need a certain noise that will put them in that vibe just to keep doing whatever the fuck they are doing. They just need noise. That's why the music that blew up in Cameroon and music that worked well in bars, places where they drink, because music keeps the alcohol in you active. Like the sound, the music just keep you active. Because if the music stops when you're sober, or when you're drunk, I mean, when you're a little bit high, when the music stops and the places become quiet, you feel sleepy. You want to sleep. So that's why I just understand that Cameroonians just like being active, on the move. They don't need music to learn anything or to receive a kind of a message from it. They just need that noise that touch a certain sense in them, that touch that activeness in them, or move with the vibe they are in at the moment. They just want that. But this Mr. Leo's album, and Cameroonians don't critically listen to music. This album is for people who critically listen to music. Like, okay, that's a sample for this. Okay, yeah, he's putting electronic guitars in the back. Like, he's doing all this. That was what this album was for me. So I kind of, but I'm not saying all this to say that I enjoyed it. Okay, like it was, but I was blown away by what he did.
So you didn't enjoy it?
No, I enjoyed. Let me just say 50% of the album.
Okay.
Yeah, 50%.
That was while you were drinking or before?
No, before.
Okay.
Okay.
The
It's
album,
important.
Yeah,
no,
those details are important.
yeah, the album had high highs, like it had 4 and 4.5 on fives, and it had 2 and 1 on fives. So he had high highs and low lows. you know,
Wow.
Mhm.
yeah. There were some songs that just blew your mind. I was like, wow. And there were some songs like, what the fuck? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
what happened when I listened to the whole album. So, what is the community saying? Or are they here yet?
Is my video frozen? I feel like my video is frozen.
Yeah, yours is frozen.
And I don't know why, because I'm looking at Zoom, but my video is frozen. Anyway, when he
Oh,
decides to unfreeze, it will unfreeze. So we have DJ Jabs saying hi, guys. Hi, DJ Jabs. I need to take time to listen to the album again. It is not a commercial album. Definitely, it is not a commercial album. Like, definitely not.
it is.
I think,
It is not a mainstream
I
album.
think,
It's not a pop album, but it
yeah,
is a commercial album.
yeah.
People keep messing up this shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe reiterate that
No,
differentiation
explain.
again.
No, I'll explain. Maybe he doesn't understand. Maybe he still don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to unfreeze your video. No, keep on. I'll just be trying to
Okay.
unfreeze what
Okay.
you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So, personally, for me, I enjoyed the album. Honestly, I love albums that are intentional about a specific kind of message. But while I'm enjoying the album, I acknowledge the fact that majority of the people listening to the album, especially Mr.
It's from
Leo's
her.
initial Mr. Leo's initial fan base, is from my end.
Yeah, it's from your end.
What do I do now? Okay, it's okay now.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So I feel like Mr. Leo's initial fan base, which was already used to him being the lover boy, being the supporté, the jamais,
Yeah.
they will not really vibe to the album. But not saying that it is not a good, list of songs. It's definitely good tracks on that album. It's definitely songs that pay homage to his Africanness, pay homage to Africa. I like the song where I cannot really remember the titles or whatever I heard, but I remember there was a song where he was talking about the heroes of Africa, those who have fought this, that. He was like paying homage to all of those people. And there was another song where I don't know, there was a child in the background. I don't know if that's his daughter. Then there are a lot of songs. One of the songs which really stuck to me was Yo, which featured this rapper CFX. I feel like it was a really good song. So there are a lot of songs there which had a very rich message. But like you said, Delibi, Cameroonians don't listen to music for the message part of it. So I don't expect to go to a club, or I don't expect to go to a party or movie on the street and hear one of those songs. That is not a song which I expect to hear in those places.
Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like even Mr. Leo knows this, because you see the moves he's making, you see the way he's promoting the song. Like the other time he was at UNICEF, like he's doing things like that. He's getting into rooms that he feels like there'll be people there, there'll be the generation there that will love this message. There'll be the generation there that will feel the need to pay homage to Africa. There'll be the generation there that will like the album because he's trying to spread this rich message to the younger generations. Yeah, so definitely it's an album that, I don't know, like I saw comments talking about Grammy Award worthy album and all that. I don't know about that. But I have one worry about this album, because there is one thing to spread a message and there's one thing to listen to your fans and give them what they want. Yeah. I feel like the genius is finding that blend. The genius is finding where those two things merge. I'll give an example of Burna Boy. His album, is it African Giant, or is it the album with Dangote still get my money? It's African Giant. Yeah, okay. So yes. So
he did something.
Yeah. Yeah. So that album is an album which is, it has a message, is rich, the message is there. Nobody can deny that. And also a song which people vibe to in the club, people will dance to, his fans will love. So I feel like finding that balance, that blend is where the trick is at. And I don't feel like this album has that blend. It has the message, but it doesn't have that blend of captivating the fans enough.
The truth is, I'm talking about message when I'm talking about this album. When I say messaging, it's not I understand everything he's saying. No. I'm talking about the musical choices he made, the direction he took, the vibe it gave me when I was listening to it. That's just what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the album being him talking about maybe the crisis or explaining his life story and all that. He may be doing that, but I didn't hear one word he said. He's no, the words he did in English. I got those words, and sometimes maybe it gives you an idea of what the album is about or what the message he's trying to put out, on the track. And that CFX guy too, the guy also killed it on Salatiel's album. I don't even know who that guy is.
Yeah, I don't know him. That's the funniest thing. Like, I always hear him, but
that's one of the things when I listened to that song, I was like, man, this guy did it again, and I don't even know who this guy is. And I believe he's. Hey man, anybody who knows who CFX is or his social media or anything, just send it to me, okay? Let me link up with that guy. The guy, he has a style that I like, and he also shows that the guy is in salt because he's rapping lamb salt. The dialect, that's how they call it. Lamb salt. Yeah, so he rapped it. I don't know who that guy is. Yeah. To me, from track number 1 to 6 was perfect. Like the vibe, it just put me in a mood that I was just like, okay. I was doing something while listening to that song, like I was working, and it was just like the soundtrack of the moment. Like it just put me in a vibe. It's almost like let's just say you are drinking or you're doing laundry or you're driving and there's something like Manu Dibango playing. It doesn't prompt you to dance, and it doesn't prompt you to sing along. Ah yeah, Africa. You're just in a mood, and you just keep doing what you're doing. If you're thinking about life, or you're thinking about work, or you're thinking about kids, or you're thinking about money, the song doesn't hinder you in any way. It just keep you in a mood. When from track number 1 to 6, that was just like the mood I was in. Then when track number 7 came, I don't know, the title of that song I think is Joe or something like that. I was like, what? Why did this guy even put this song on this album? I was like, what? Come on, it was off. It's almost like him trying to blend Afrobeat with drill, with Chicago drill, and singing in Lamso. And I was just like, man, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to be innovative, but bruh, this one's not just work. It was off, and it's the song featuring him and Wanche.
John.
The one with him and Wanche, that one too was off. Like there were some songs in that project that I listened to that was like, bruh, I know you're trying to be so innovative, but all these things you're doing are way off target. Like I don't, but going after that, the song with his 2 kids or with his daughter, that one too was, I enjoyed it. The second to the last song and the last song, yeah, but from song 1 to 6, if that was a 6-track EP, I would have said that's the album of the year. Like it was like a brick, all the angles, like every angle is even, like a cube. Then when that other one came in, I just said, okay, this guy is now moving to something else. Like he's trying to overdo it. Hello? Yeah, okay, she's back. So the ambassador, how many songs from, because I know the songs that have been released from the album now, you have that Amen. The Hallelujah.
Yeah.
That song is part of the album.
Yeah.
That JJJ is part of the album. And this last one, J, these 3 songs. Just from these songs that you've listened, which of them do you vibe to?
I did not really vibe to any like that. So because as I said, right, but they are nice songs, but I feel like, as I said, if this was coming from a new artist, maybe I'd have taken it differently. But what I was expecting from Mr. Leo was not this, but also I mentioned in the beginning, like I've not taken enough time to listen to the song as a musical critic, but I've just listened to the song as a fan. So, because I tell people, like, even some of the comments which Delibi is making is more from the angle of a musical critic, which maybe 80% of Cameroonians are not musical critics like that. Yeah, I always tell people, like, I used to do this rap review thing. When I do rap reviews, there is like what we call how can I call it? The 6, should I call them pillars I want to see, or which I'll be using to analyze the song. There is what we call the chord progressions. There is the strong lyrics. There is a solid song structure. There is a reaction and emotion which that song can evoke, like what I was talking about, the Manu Dibango thing. There is either the special hook or the reference in it, and then there is the listening influence. Then when it goes to the poetry side now, there is the wordplay, the double entendres, all of those things in rap. When listening like a fan, is mostly the catchy phrases, the language, how can I even call it? There is there's emotion and reaction factor too, but from a different angle. Yeah. The fan does not take the emotional angle the same like the music critic. Different angles how they look at it. So I'll be talking to today more of like the fan, not like the music critic, because even to start analyzing a song, I actually take pen and paper at times and I sit down, listen to a song over and over again, and then go through all of these feelings. And then at times I come back from work, I'm tired, I listen to the song, I feel a different way. Then another time I'm in the club, I listen to that song, I feel a different way. I have to take that almost like a statistical analysis of the range of feelings I have from this song, and then get some kind of like a middle ground. Because you listen to a song at the first time, it does not pick. But the next time, depending on the atmosphere, so that all of these things you take into consideration before actually sitting to criticize a song from a music critic point of view. But from the fan's point of view, he may not have 3 times to listen to that song, because once I listen to it once in that band, I don't like it, I'll not play it again in my car. That is it. Yeah. From a fan point of view. So yeah, so there's that whole thing of like, as a fan, there was the shock value of listening to this song. I was like, that's not what I was expecting on Mr. Leo. I like the video though, and also being a Pan-Africanist kind of person, I want to force myself to like it more, to listen to it more, to support it more, because I feel like this is what we should be supporting. But yeah, as I said, that double, I said on the beginning, it gives me a certain double feeling. But I feel like I'll listen to it more, I'll go more in depth into it, I'll share it more, I'll give it the benefit of doubt for at least the next 3 months. If it does not pick up a certain steam, and then I'll start saying, man, this Grammy.
That's just all I'll say. Yeah, I believe it will grow on you.
Yeah, all the songs might not, but definitely there will be a song.
There are some songs which
like,
I know will not. Like
maybe
that Joe,
4,
like
maybe,
Joe or whatever.
Yeah, maybe,
that song
maybe
is
4 of the songs
off
might grow on
target.
you.
Penalty miss completely. That song, no, like 3 songs in there that I'll just say those songs are misses, complete misses. You know.
Yeah, but like honestly, listening to the album, like there was no song that I felt like was a miss, because starting from the beginning, I got the sense that he wanted to blend different African styles with the soul culture. So each of the songs had their own style that he was picking. It was an Afrobeat, it was a South African vibe, it was a whatever vibe. He had that. Yeah. So I don't think it was a miss.
I have some issues with the language factor, but I feel like maybe we'll discuss that further later.
Yeah, what definitely going to talk about that. That's our main topic. Yeah, that's our main topic. Yeah. Anyway, let's just dive into that, because we have DJ Jab saying the first time I heard him without any French in his song, wow, from him. So this is already somebody talking about. So we know we have the whole English musicians or Anglophone musicians feeling the need to sing in French in order to get the French market because the belief is that's the way to find success and that's the way to get more people tuned into your music. So we have that French English thing. Now people are going even deeper into their dialects. As a Mr. Leo fan, I'm listening to this song and I can pick one or two words and I'm like, okay, yeah, probably this is what the song is about. But honestly, I don't understand the full message of the song. And then you have people saying stuff like, okay, was this song just for Saw people? Because those of us who don't understand Lansor, we don't get to relate with the song at 100%. So there's this kind of barrier.
But I just enjoyed it for him being so creative and making it.
Yeah.
I don't know. So if I may dive into this, I don't know if you guys will permit me. There's something which Sekou Touré said, which I wanted to read out, which I feel like is my foundation for most things, or as I said, why I want to force myself to give this song a chance for at least the next 6 months. So Sekou Touré said, we should go down into the grassroots of our culture, not to remain there, not to be isolated there, but to draw strength and substance therefrom. And with whatever additional source of strength and material we acquire, proceed to set up a new form of society, raised to the level of human progress. That's from Ahmed Sekou Touré. So, and that's like one of my people I look up to when it comes to this whole African, in my vision, in lots of things though. So I feel like we should encourage, coming now back to music, even when people say why Anglophone rappers or artists singing in French, it makes no sense. First, as a typical African, I don't feel like we should hold on to any French or English thing. Secondly, as a businessman, if number-wise it makes sense to sing in French, go ahead, sing. On the other hand, I feel like singing in your dialect or valorizing your culture, it's a long-term thing, which is going to take a while for it to make sense. But as Sekou Touré said, it's not taking that and staying in that culture, because staying in your culture might mean even not putting on clothes, beating just a drum without a camera. So you should take your culture and then add it to the things which you have learned now in the modern day thing, and then valorize it even further. Like, that's why I'm a fan of hip hop, because I feel like hip hop is that one culture that is going to embrace every culture into it and then still make sense out of it. There's no unique thing that they say hip hop must be this or must be that. When the reggaeton guys came from Latin America and were doing their things with hip hop, in the beginning of the 90s, it was like, who are these guys? This is not the real hip hop. But before you knew it, it was a recognized genre in hip hop. When the British guys came with their griming, their own style of rhyming, we, the hip hop fans, were like, nah, this is not what hip hop is. But before you know it, griming is already a recognized genre of hip hop. So I feel like it's a long-term thing, which, as I always say, don't expect the fans to be strategists. The fans don't think that much that far. Especially when you don't have a very musically educated audience. You just have to understand your audience and work with it, and don't get worked up by it. They'll say what they are saying, they'll expect what they're expecting. And also, like you said, Leo might be looking at different audiences right now. He wants to get to a certain quality circle. That's why he's making all these moves towards the UNICEF guys and the rest. That might be true. I'm just assuming things here. But coming back to the language side of things, I feel like number-wise, short-term, it does not make sense to sing in Lamso. Long-term wise, it might make sense if you become the innovative guy who has the genre, who people now want to learn Lamso to understand what you are saying, if you are that relevant. I always say that in the beginning, try to diversify and then go with the numbers. When you are recognized to a level where people cannot do without you, then now you can bring your Lamso like, this is it. Deal with it. But in the beginning, where you are still trying to gain people and then bring the audience, it's risky. It might still work, but it's a bigger risk you are taking, because you don't yet have that monopoly and that strength in the market to be able to command people to want to listen to this if people don't understand. But coming to the numbers game, I tell people, like, when Baby Manga was singing in Douala, it's not because she was a Douala woman at the time, but because there's a large number of people who understand Douala. If you even understand Bakweri, you still pick a part of Douala. So there's a large audience that picks up Douala to understand it. I tell people I want to sing. Fino will sing in Igbo because there's a large number for Igbo. What's his name? These other guys will sing in Yoruba because it's a large audience for Yoruba. But when you sing in a language where I don't know if we even have up to, I don't know, I'm just giving random numbers, up to 20 million people understand this language, it's risky because you need that core foundation number to push it for the world to accept it. So once you don't get that number, it might die down naturally, not because it was not good, but because that critical mass was not there to carry it along. So it is risky for an artist who is experimenting to go in a foreign language which a large majority of his core audience don't understand.
Okay. Yeah, I have a lot to say from everything you guys have said. Okay. First, the language factor. I'll address that one the last. The first thing he said, the ambassador said was the him singing it like what Mr. Leo did, him as a fan, like a Mr. Leo fan, that wasn't what he was expecting from Mr. Leo. So it means you already have a certain, like the kind of songs he has been releasing before, you already have a certain idea of let's just say an identity of Mr. Leo, you know, that you want to hear often. Like every time he drops a song, you just expect to get that vibe. I think he has been gradually moving away from it. Like when he started with Ego Beta, and Over Jire was something different from Ego Beta, but I think it was still love. Maybe that's what you guys, the love part of it. Maybe that's the idea you guys are talking about. Then after Ego Beta, what was the next song? The next song.
There was Jamais Jamais. There was
Jamais Jamais. That
Chipotle.
one
There
was still,
was
Jamais Jamais is still like Ego Beta. You have
yeah
Chipotle
with
featuring Loco.
Loco.
Then he started moving away slowly. Get it? He started moving away slowly when he did part two. Like he was slowly moving away. When he did no, On se connaît pas is almost similar, like the same sound. But when he did Amen, that Hallelujah, you guys should have noticed that this guy is trying his option. But then the language was still English and French. You understand? That's why the song did the numbers it did, and the song went the route it did. But he was slowly moving away. I believe, to me personally, I think that was Mr. Leo's final stop, because after that he did Time. So Time was when he started trying to incorporate that Lamso in his songs. But Time was mostly in English and some Lamso. But I believe Time came after. Let me just flat out say, Witty Mishra and Be Proud came out and fucked up Mr. Leo's album. That's the
expansion.
Truth. Be Proud just fucked up Mr. Leo's
I get
album
it.
to some people.
How? I don't get it.
Okay.
The cultural thing which you're supposed to capitalize on, this man took it off.
The wave, the movement that whole thing had messed up Mr. Leo's whole. He added another layer to what Mr. Leo thought was his directory. Because what I believe is Amen and Time. Time came after Be Proud. But Amen, I just believe Amen was Mr. Leo's. That was where Mr. Leo wanted to settle at. Him doing that kind of songs that send through a message, not too harsh, not danceable, but you can play it at home, but in a language where majority of Cameroonians can understand. I believe that was his vibe. But when that Be Proud came, be proud of who we are, like that whole thing messed up Mr. Leo's trajectory. Anybody who wants to debunk what I've just said should go back and check like the timeline. I just believe Be Proud. That's the impact that song had. To me, the impact that song had gave Mr. Leo another perspective. Like, you know what? If I just roll with it, if I just roll with this, push this narrative, like I'll find a footing. You know, I'll just find a pocket. That's just one. That's one take.
Don't you think that because that guy was a new artist, that's why we also took it that much, because we're not expecting anything yet?
He wasn't expecting it. And that song never blew up because people vibed to it a lot. It was PWD after winning the Cameroon Cup. They used that song as a celebration song. That was what made that thing explode. It wasn't a cultural shift. it was kind of a cultural shift because PWD
No,
winning that
but
cup.
did you also follow? You also follow the saga between the video which King Stephen did.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the whole drama that came around the video which King Stephen did?
Yeah, the drama came out after PWD had already used it for
It
that.
was
I mean,
after
the
the
song
video.
already had
Okay.
the song already had
Because that's
a
when I caught up
cultural
with it.
thing behind it. Like PWD, the first, like I think it's the first time an Anglophone, a Northwest team is winning like Anglophone, a cultural thing. So they had to use a cultural song to celebrate. It became, since every Anglophone was happy that PWD won that cup, they just used that song as an anthem. That was what made that song blow up. And the remix just came in now, and I love the remix more than the original. So the remix now just came in now and solidified that, okay, that is a movement, that is a vibe, that's a trajectory these guys can take.
Leo was in the remix, right?
Yeah, Leo was there.
Mm-hmm.
He sang in Lamso. Everybody did English.
Yeah, surely
but
he
Leo just
realized,
sang
like,
it in
since this
Lamso.
guy has taken the shine I wanted to get, let me come and take a beat.
So
I don't know. I don't know. Like, do you think that if Be Proud was not released and Mr. Leo dropped this album, people vibe to it more?
no, if Be Proud never had the impact he had, that wouldn't have affected Mr. Leo's trajectory. Maybe he had some songs in Lamso.
I'm trying to comprehend how Be Proud has an influence on how I feel about this album.
No, not how you feel about this album. It impacted the direction of this album. It's true, Mr. Leo may have recorded some songs which
maybe Mr. Leo was already going there though.
Listen, let me learn. Mr. Leo may have had some songs where he implemented a little bit of Lamso in them, but not going full Lamso. And I believe this album was not going to be like Lamso driven. It was supposed to be like, okay, this Mr. Leo, like this album was supposed to be meant for, okay, the guys who took me to this position, like Cameroonians, I want them to listen to me like it's my first album. They know me for this. But that the impact Be Proud had gave Mr. Leo a perspective that if he released a song culturally, these guys who push Be Proud because it was culturally relevant to that information or to that time frame will still push the album. That's one way to look at it. And the other way to look at it is Mr. Leo found a commercial pocket for him. Like the insult community support me financially. But the commercial, the mainstream or the pop domain don't support me commercially. They just vibe, they just listen to my songs on YouTube, but financially they are not impactful in my career or my life. That may be one drive, and that may influence why he priced his album 5,000, because he know he already has a community that will support him.
Question, Delvi.
Yeah.
What about Mr. Leo would tell some people that this is my person, support this person commercially? Like, I'm just trying to think of the fact that I did not even know he was so until he started singing in so and all that stuff, right? Yeah. I'm like, his name does not identify as a Saw person. He was singing in Pidgin.
Yeah.
Like, what is the thing about him that you think the Saw people will get behind him from the start, like the beginning of his career?
No, not the thing about him that will feel like the Saw people will get behind him. First of all, that Saw wave has already, like in Cameroon, most of the biggest Anglophone artists in Cameroon are Saw. I think Jovi is Saw. Tila, Saw.
I thought Jovi is in Cambe.
Okay, Jovi in Cambe. Okay, in Cambe and Saw, those two places. Mr. Leo, Saw. Jovi, in Cambe. Tila, what?
I think Tila is speaking Cambe. I don't know if it's her mother or her father, but I know she's speaking Cambe because she said she does not speak the language, but she's Cambe.
Most, like Nso and Cambe is not that much, but Nso, like the Anglophone artist side, Nso, and then now you have Bayangi. These three places. What I'm just saying is this Nso wave, the Nso wave and the support Mr. Leo has experienced, maybe personally, maybe from like the internal view, the internal analytics or stats from him, maybe the support he has been getting from the sub community is more than what he gets when he does these mainstream songs. These mainstream songs work for him.
Maybe I wanted to ask a question too.
Yeah.
do you think the soul wave is strong enough to carry him?
Financially, maybe that's a sustainable route for him.
Because this Mr. guy, I feel like the soul wave pushed him, but that hook or be proud of who we are, everybody can relate to it to an extent. The Bamileke people, I think was Kameni was just singing about Bamileke, like it's still the same thing.
Understand my point.
I felt like some people carried it. The nationally we also carried it.
Yeah.
So when you see having things with MTN, it's not because of the soul wave, it's more of the national wave.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is it's something cultural, and that cultural aspect of it maybe influence the trajectory of this album for it to be something cultural. That wave.
So coming back, so I agree with you. Coming back to what I said about the Igbo and the Yoruba thing, right? Yeah. Maybe it's better to do a cultural thing that can, how can I call it, can encompass the whole of Cameroon rather than doing something which is going to zoom in too much on just one tribe like we saw. Maybe what I'm
saying is, maybe based on Mr. Leo's career, the span of his career, his experiences, maybe sustainability, like for his career to be sustainable, okay, this route he's taken is financially sustainable for him than the pop and the media route he has been taken by singing in French to get these songs that give him views and put him in these places, which may not necessarily give him financial reward. I'm talking about a long term to survive as an artist, long term while making money. Maybe this sort of route he has taken, he has a community that has proven that will show up for him financially. Okay, so he's trying to stick with a core. That's why every artist must have a core. When you have a core, your core has the tendency of making you pop. Fino had a core, which is, I think it's Yoruba. I don't know the difference between all those guys. Fino's core made him pop. Most Nigerian artists who sing Hausa or Yoruba, their core, because that core support their own. Because they support their own, they have the tendency of playing their songs everywhere they are. So it influenced other genres, other music, and put them in places where they don't personally carry their songs to those places, but their core take their songs to those places. And in the long term, it's sustainable for the artist, like financially sustainable for the artist. Like, I believe that's why Mr. Leo took this route. For a long time, for him to do this music thing for a very long time and to sustain himself, his family, his career, maybe he's tapping into a community which has already proven that can sustain him financially.
Now, let's look at the fact that some people are listening to this album and they're like, it's so original, it's so deep, it has a deep message, and it's Grammy worthy. Personally, I don't think it's strong enough to embrace it, to gather international attention.
No, it is.
I don't think.
Like I think track 1 to 6, it can.
I don't think the language, which is a limiting factor.
No, don't talk about language. Diamond Platinums, come on. Language is not. Forget about language. If your core is passionate about your song and they want to make others like it, they will make others like it. But the important thing is your core. You can always run to your core when you need sustenance and support.
Yeah, but now the thing is, people dance to Diamond Platinum in the club. People vibe to him. Would people dance to this Mr. Leo's album in the club? How would this Mr. Leo's album go viral?
His core will enjoy it. This album is not for a casual listener. This album is for his core audience.
But then you're missing my point. So my point is, this album will stick with his core audience and will not go out of that core. That's what I'm saying. So how the international public, how do they get to embrace this?
It may. But one thing that is guaranteed is his core audience will enjoy to it and support it. It goes, this one.
Okay, yeah. So I Delibi, I get the point that his core audience would enjoy it, right?
Yep.
But would they support it enough for it, and then would they give it enough fuel for it to be able to transcend into
Yes.
nationally,
Is that call large
continentally,
enough?
and then hence globally? Is that
Yes.
crowd
Is that
strong
call
enough
is
to
that
give it
strong
that
enough?
well to push?
Listen, this one goes back to like the Latin 2 episodes we did back. That when an artist is singing a song or doing an album to satisfy the mass, if you're chasing a hit, you may end up being disappointed and discouraged and frustrated that you may even quit what you're doing. But if you are doing satisfying people who you know, every time you go to them, they will show up. You always get that certainty, you always get that comfort to keep on doing what you're doing. And when you keep satisfying those guys, okay, if a splash come out of it, that's a win-win situation. But you don't have to keep chasing the big hit when you feel like if you
Yeah,
miss that big hit, you lose it all.
but answering the question about Grammy, right? As
Yeah.
usual, there's the same we say in Pidgin. Now, big name the key small dog. The fact that people just jump to, they don't even jump to Afrima or some of these, let's MTV Africa. We jump at once to Grammy, right? It might make, I mean, when I'm looking at the album, I'm coming with that expectation of Grammy
Grammy
worth.
worthy.
And
Yeah.
then I come and I'm now disappointed. That's why I said, I feel like it's a very risky thing he's doing. If it works, it can really, it might not take him to global recognition, but at least it might take him to African recognition. But I feel like the short journey or the short trajectory to take should be recognition locally, nationally, continentally, globally. To take a leap automatically from nationally to globally, it's a tough leap which you might end up breaking your leg.
Listen,
So I
I
feel
don't
like he
think
should
that's
make
Mr.
moves
Leo's
to
aim.
establish him continentally.
I don't think that's Mr.
Yeah.
But
Leo's aim.
saying that his aim is to get the soul crowd consistent, that's not what will give him a Grammy. I don't think there's even any voter
Grammy
right
is not
in
Mr. Leo's
soul
aim.
native.
Grammy can happen. Listen, Grammy can happen. It may happen. If it happens, fine and good. Mr. Leo's reason for dropping an album is to prove to himself that his career has gotten to a point where he can survive off his music. And taking
Yes,
this,
but that was asking that the comments which are being made that this album is Grammy worthy, is it valid? I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. I was.
Yes.
wait,
I
Grammy
want us
worthy.
to
Who
react
are
to those comments.
listen? Who are they to say it is Grammy worthy or not? Nobody knows how the Grammys search for these things. But if you get to the Grammys radar, there's a lot behind this thing, not just the music, for it to be Grammy worthy. The music can be to you because all these things are personal opinions and preferences. You think it is Grammy worthy based on something you may have heard that have gone to the Grammys that sound like it. But there's a lot that goes behind it being Grammy worthy. So all those unknown that nobody knows how to get to, don't build your career based on those things. Build your career, focus on the things you can control. Focus on the things you can handle and the things you can always turn to. So for them saying that this album is Grammy worthy, that's their personal opinion. Maybe based on maybe that lady who won the Grammy before Burna Boy.
Who is that? Kijo,
I don't know.
Angelique Kijo.
Yeah,
Because I think Kijo won it from Burna Boy. Yeah, both of them went along. Yeah.
Maybe they are trying to say, okay, based on the kind of sound she did, and Mr. Leo has done this, maybe the sound is kind of what Grammy may accept for something Africa. That's just their personal preference and opinion. There's a lot that goes behind any project or a song or a track getting to the Grammys radar for them to nominate it. You can produce the best album in the world, but album being best in the world is based on who listen to it and when they listen
But I
to
feel
it.
like there is some truth to this. Like if you listen, if you are observant, I feel like partly the fact that we did not have any major hit from our A-lister artists this year is because of what we are discussing now. The fact that the major moves which have been made by Burna Boy and Wizkid has, like Cameroon, we have that. I don't know if it's a complex or is that we are easily influenced by trends and things happening in other countries.
Exactly.
So what Wizkid and Burna Boy have done recently has kind of made our artists to become agitated. Like, I also sing like this guy. I was also trying to sing, I don't know, whatever, Afro like him.
Yeah.
So I too can do this now to become Grammy too. And if the whole of Cameroon recognized him that much when he won the Grammy, maybe Cameroon finally recognized me too when I win that Grammy. So if you listen, if you realize recently Salati has been making his own moves. I think recently we also shared a post where what was this guy's name? Doc Z was saying that if locals stuck to his style of music, he would have been bigger than what he is now. But all of a sudden, he started experimenting with so many strange
No, but Loco has
genres.
been experimenting before. Loco has been, no, that's the only artist in Cameroon, I believe. He doesn't drop 3 songs that sound the same.
And I was just saying that's what Doc Zig said recently.
Yeah.
And I feel like all of our artists have been trying to, if I want to count, there are at least 5 to 10 Amapiano songs that have been dropped in the last 2 months, the South African vibe.
Yeah.
When they all left from the Tum Tum vibe to now the Amapiano vibe. So I feel like there is also that panic of we want to have global recognition and everybody is being, if at least you are saying that is true, it might also, as I also say, we are guessing a lot on some of these things. No, I don't think one of us is in Mr. Leo's team to know enough to assert certain things for sure. But I feel like, one, there is that influence of he wants to have that sustainable base of the soul community. But also, I feel like Mr. Leo is trying to go towards that legendary status, not like what the fellas became. And to do that, you need to just have your own exclusive kind of thing you are doing. That when the world, even till now, the Jay-Z's want to do a certain kind of music, they will do festivals for a fella thing. Because what fella did was fella.
Yeah, I want also look at the comments. I feel like we've ignored the comments for so long. We have Neto saying greetings, guys. Yeah, greetings, Neto. Welcome. Jovi is Kambe, Tila is both Kambe and So. Okay. We have Spirit T saying great show. Then he goes on to say, I don't think we proud influence Mr. Leo at all. Okay, why don't you think so, Spirit?
Why don't you think so?
And then he goes on to say that's Doc Z's opinion. Yeah. Anyway, like for me, right, concerning Be Proud, I feel like it was a cool song, and I don't really think it influenced Mr. Leo that much. Personally, that's my opinion. I don't think it influenced Mr. Leo that much. I feel like
he added is another layer to the direction he was taking. That I mentioned that it added, like, the trajectory he was taking. Okay, I believe Be Proud added another layer to that, to the influence, the decision he was making. He already took the decision. I think Be Proud added another layer to it.
Yeah, because like listening to Mr. Leo's song,
recall, right? I said I felt like I understood what Deli B was saying. We cannot say to what extent he influenced him. But I feel like even if he was already going in that direction, if he had been putting his leg in and out of the singing the Dialect thing, the Be Proud, just confirm
the
like
wave, that moment of Be Proud influenced it.
Yeah, that might be the case. Yeah, then we also had the Venutina singing in her dialect, in that CZ Panchat song. I love we're vibing to it specifically. Yeah, so
and trust me, I won't be surprised if I hear that Venutina is making so much money than most of these mainstream artists.
It's possible. It's possible.
Explain why.
Because she knows her audience.
When it concerns money, I always want an explanation.
Yeah, because what she does, she's consistent. She knows her audience and the kind of things she's doing and the kind of songs she releases. She's releasing songs as if she's singing to somebody, to a particular group of people.
But where do you think she? Because like when you even say that Saw people will come out for him, are you saying that they'll be inviting him to their wedding ceremonies now? Or are you saying that they'll be buying his streaming? Or are you saying that? So I wanted to ask, like, when you say she might make him more money, are you talking about streaming? Because I don't think
not streaming. Listen, I can be talking about events. They can be calling her for shows. When she release merch, they pick it up as fast. When she does when she release her songs like on iTunes, they buy it.
So
They buy it,
By
not streaming
shows,
it.
you mean wedding ceremonies, right?
Yeah. Yeah, wedding.
By shows,
but
you mean wedding
I think,
ceremonies and things like that.
Yes.
yeah, I feel like Venetina, her kind of music attracts a type of audience
Niche driven. What I'm saying is niche driven.
who is willing to spend money to get the songs.
Exactly.
I feel like her songs
Like
are not the kind of club, everybody kind of song. It's more of deep thinkers, people who want to like be in touch with their emotions, in touch with their culture and all that.
Let's dive a little bit into this market segmentation, right?
Mm-hmm,
because when you do market segmentation, you're looking at the age range, where their geographical location, purchasing power, all of those things. So can you just try to zoom in a little bit more into this segment you're talking about? Are they based in Cameroon?
Okay. I think
No.
diaspora,
Yeah,
the diaspora, Northwesterners, maybe even Southwesterners, but I feel like more of the diaspora Northwesterners will like zoom in and want to like help her out, contribute, and
the ambassador. Sometimes you ask like the questions you ask. Sometimes you ask questions that don't have a precise answer. Like when you ask, "What do you mean? Is it this diaspora or all that?" No, it may mean that, and it may not mean that. It may just mean when I say.
I just want you to situate your own self.
It means you want me to. Do you want me to speculate?
Yes, it's okay to say that from what I think, or from my own guess, or from as a fan. It must not be that accurate. Like you are in the team. Everything we say here should be taken with a pinch of salt, because.
Okay, what I can say is I can only say the community, but I cannot tell you the geographical region.
Okay.
I can be the community. I can paint it as accurate as I can when it comes to the kind of community and the kind of market the person is trying to reach. But as for the geographical region, I cannot tell you diaspora locally or this and this, because there can still be some guys in Cameroon who fit that criteria and are willing to spend that amount of money to get the kind of entertainment they want. And there can be guys in the diaspora who fit almost that, but still won't be willing to spend like in Cameroon. But if you see somebody taking that kind of a step or that kind of direction, the person, based on the work they've put in, based on the analytics they've got, if you see them taking that kind of a direction, they have enough data to say, okay, I'm taking this step. It is safe financially, because the whole reason for these guys doing music is not to win awards. Awards don't give you money. Awards are just recognitions for you to survive, to keep making that money. Not every award.
Yeah, but the
Grammys, they don't give you money for Grammys.
Yeah, I'm like, if you are Grammy award-winning artist, you'll be giving more money. If you're invited to a show, you have more opportunities.
Get my
brand
point.
Deals and all that.
But awards don't give you money. Those are recognition awards. Those are recognition. Let me tell you how awards work. Listen, let me tell you how awards work, okay? Let's just say an actor had an Oscar award, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you have an Oscar, it has been proven that, one, you are great at that role, you are great at that part, and if they put you in that movie, you've reached an audience that will support that movie. At that point, they need to pay you a high wage, because they know if they bring you to this movie, you will add something to that movie that may cause that movie to generate more money. So they are paying you your wage. It goes to award. If you win the Grammy, getting to that Grammy, it means you've attained a level of fame that if somebody is calling you for a show or want to pay you, or an endorsement you want to come through, they are paying you your wage because they believe you've reached a level where you can sell this thing to this amount of people. That's why your wage goes up. But the award doesn't give you shit. The award is a recognition, like you've gotten to this stage of your career. So if before getting to that stage of your career, if you put yourself in a pocket where you can sustain yourself while your audience and your fan base is building you to that point where you can get that recognition, fine and good. But don't think about Grammys and base your career on Grammys.
I wanted to read the comments.
Okay.
Yeah. The comments.
I want to read the comments before saying what I had to say. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is Spirit T who said, I mean, he's adding to. He just came and said that's Dogsy's opinion. I think he's responding to what I said when I said Dogsy said Loco has drifted away from his initial.
Just go and listen to all local singers.
Opinion.
None of them
very
are
true.
Yeah,
and then Spirit T went ahead to explain, like when we asked him, like, so what does he think about the fact that we're saying Mr. Leo was but we're proud of who we are.
Yeah.
And then he said, when you listen to his interview, you will know he had this album identity as a plan from the word go. And then Ladrino is saying, hello, greetings.
Okay.
Greetings to you, Ladrino.
Listen, he had that album identity from the beginning. He may be proud added a certain layer to this thing. The reason I'm saying this is, that's why I quoted Amen. Amen. I just believe that was the trajectory he wanted to take. Everybody in Cameroon can understand, but you need to sit down and consume the music. But making it super cultural, I think Be Proud, that wave of Be Proud influenced it. When you go for an interview, of course, you said this is the direction he has had, because he hasn't changed. He has just been influenced, but he hasn't changed. It's the same trajectory, but something else happened to add it to it.
So yeah, but then again, at the end of the day, we're just speculating. It's not something that we can be 100% sure that Mr. Leo did not already have this 100% plan of going with the soul direction. Yeah, it's just a speculation. It might have been influenced by that. It might not. So yeah. Yeah. Okay, so but we had this question which we had to answer from the start, right? Yep. Should a musician sing in the dialect? Now, I know the ambassador has touched a little bit on that, saying that, okay, if the dialect is one which you can have a big enough population to get behind you and push it even further, then by all means, you can go with it, right? And then I think it's Delibi who talked about Bebe Manga singing in Douala, and that was the language which people were loving, especially musically. So she went that direction. Even
she froze. Okay. Let me just answer the first part of the question. Okay. Or you want to continue? I wanted to answer the first part that you asked.
Yeah, you can go ahead and respond.
Yeah. My answer to that question is yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I was just saying, should musicians sing in their dialect?
Yes.
If a musician is getting into the field, at what stage will you say, okay, you know what, my man, sing your dialect, I think it's going to do more good for your career? Or at what stage will you say sing your dialect is going to kill your career? Oh, yeah.
They can, provided it is sustainable for them, provided they can do that for as long as they can, which can permit them to live a life as an artist. They should. They should live a life of an earner, somebody who can make money and sustain their livelihood. If singing in your dialect gives you that, sing in your dialect. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, this thing is a job.
Yeah, true.
It is your career, it is your job. So the aim of every career or a job is to sustain you and your family or everything that comes behind it. So if you find a way to make that aspect of your life lucrative, do it for as long as you feel comfortable doing it.
Okay. So, but for me though, I feel like it is a little more risky to sing in a language that does not have a large number behind it. But nobody is to say, especially when it comes to art, nobody is to say what exactly will work or what will not work. It just depends on the emotions it stirs up in some of the best. I mean, like you always listen to interviews where somebody will say, okay, who was it? Was it Fat Joe? Who was saying Eminem came to him and he turned him down? to imagine that a big head, like maybe like a musical head like Fat Joe will not recognize the talent in Eminem is sacrilege, but it happens. Nobody is to see how human beings will react to art. Some of those things, it just depends on how the emotions have been stirred up. But from my own advice, I just feel like that's a risk to take. One is a risky move, and it's a risk to take when you have a comfortable establishment in the industry. In the beginning, the risk is a little bit still higher. But if you decide to take it, that's your shot to run with.
Yeah, as Spirit is saying, any language you feel comfortable, fluent, and inspired with is okay as long as it suits the vision of the project you are working on. Yeah, I also think like when you are thinking of singing in whatever language you decide to sing in, you should be very aware about the goals that you have. As an artist, what is your goal with whatever project you're working on? Is it are you hoping that it's going to get like some international recognition? Are you hoping that it's going to people from different parts of the world are going to relate to the song? People from different parts of the world are going to listen to the song and vibe to it. For example, we have songs like as I'm just talking, I'm remembering of songs like Panga Star and there's a song like I see Nata. I cannot remember the word. Yeah. I don't know a word. I don't know a word. I don't know what these songs mean. But these are songs that we dance to choreographies for. It was like these were the viral songs everywhere. But these were also danceable songs. They also had an appeal. So I would say probably is the fact that even if you don't hear the lyrics, you can dance to the song, you can enjoy the beat and all that. Yeah. So in my mind, I'm thinking you should be very intentional. You should know like this project I'm putting out there, if I'm putting in a foreign language, what is going to be the appeal internationally? What is going to make people want to stick to this song? Because if you're putting a very somber kind of song, which needs people to sit down and listen and get the message, when people you're putting out a song which gets people in the mood of reflection and they cannot reflect on the words you're saying, I don't think it really makes sense. But if you're putting out a song that has a very danceable beat and people don't need to think, you're in a club, high beats ringing in your ear and you're just dancing, they don't even need to think, they don't even need to hear what you're saying, and it works. Yeah, so I feel like that is one of the shortcomings with this Mr.Leo project. He put a song which gets you in the mood to reflect and you don't have the words to reflect to.
Okay. I think maybe Spirit has also put some comments there. Because initially he said, I'm talking from the perspective of an artist. Now he has come and added, saying that it is, I think, following what I said is risky. He said it is not risky at all. Look at West Madiko, Yusun Dio, and others. Yeah, but as I said, though, it is your call to...
Everything we are saying now, saying that he should sing in English or French and all this thing. Charlotte Dupanda had an interview that she said, many people told her this thing we are saying now, that singing English, you are not supposed to sing in Douala, that you will not go far, you will not do all this thing. But she felt comfortable singing in that language, and she even, there's a video that she was talking with Chriso. She told him, in the beginning they will tell you to sing in a language everybody can consume. But you know where you came from, you know the community you're trying to reach and please, and you know they'll always turn up for you. Stick to that community will take you to the length you want to go to. And it's still that same community that is taking Charlotte Dupanda forward, pushing her forward. The community in France, the same community can be in Belgium, the same community can be there, here. So they are pushing her. She's going forward, being the mega star she is now. The same thing with Chriso. Chriso is singing now in Douala. That was the advice she gave him. And it's the same thing Mr. Leo is doing now. Like, every time he releases a song, his community will turn up for him. Even if he becomes a hit or a flop, but his community will listen to it. And they will support it.
So when I said it's risky, if you guys recall, I also added that it's your call to make. And at times when you are heading for the legendary status, you might need to take this high risk of, I'm doing what I feel is right, I'm going with my culture. But be aware that it might not work. I mean, like, if you are being honest, even the fact that you're an artist in Cameroon is a risky career choice. So not to even talk of the fact that you're now singing the language which 80% of Cameroon does not understand, or at least 80% of Cameroon does not understand. Being an artist alone is a risky career choice. So when I say it's risky, it does not mean don't do it. High risk, high reward. You want high reward? A man cut your food ticket, put 2 matches, bet on goal in the first 15 minutes. It's your ticket. Who am I to speak about your ticket?
There's another comment here. Landrine says, I really like the song. There are more spiritual and cool vibe. It is very well when driving in the night, when places are cold and you almost on the road alone. Yeah, that's why, like, for me, when I listen to this song, it gets me in this spiritual mood. But then you have this challenge of not being able to reflect on all the words. You're in a spiritual mood, but you're not able to reflect on all the words he's saying. And but it's.
I feel like the setting Landrino has painted only works for 20% of Cameroonians, if not less. So spiritual mode is not really Cameroonians' business. They're always in their bars. Yeah, less than 2, maybe even. 2, driving in a car. Which car are we driving in? The car drops you, jump into that bar, they start banging and music. That's how you can music.
Right.
That setting he has painted is a very unique setting.
Yeah,
but definitely that setting, those are the people who have the money to spend. To the other setting, they don't really have extra money to be spending on albums and stuff.
Yeah.
The setting that he has painted, people who have the cars and will be driving and stuff, they have the money to spend. That they want to spend the money. So if they vibe to that song, good for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so as usual, we have passed our 1 hour mark as usual. So, but yeah, I think we have exhausted what we need to say about this topic.
Yeah.
But before we go, is there anything that anybody would like to add? Anything we left out, or any afterthoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to reply to what the ambassador said, that for you to get to the legendary status, you need to singing in your dialect is risky. It's not, okay. The aim, like,
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I was saying that for you to get to legendary status, you need to do risky things. You need to do something which is different. That might mean singing your dialect. So instead, so I was saying instead.
Oh, okay.
But it's risky. So know that if you wanted to pay your rent as fast as possible, that might not be the best way to go about it. If you want to be established in the books of time and you don't mind staying and waiting for it, then that might be I was just saying. Yeah. But I always conclude by saying, who am I to say what work?
Instead, to me, if you need to be paying your rent and sustain your life, I think that would be the best choice, to go for the guys who always turn up. If it is the guys or the community that speaks your dialect, if that's the best, the guys who always show up, I think you should take that route more often. Then once in a while you dabble into the pop scene to see if you can get a hit. That's why in those days you had radio records and you had album cuts, because radio records are like pop songs that you want to appease a larger audience, but album cuts are albums that you know who you want to sell to. Okay, that's why you always had, in those days you had rap albums that feature R&B artists to make them R&B songs, but the artists, the album would just be flat out rap, bars, disses, F words, dropping F bombs, calling people all kind of F, the various varieties of Fs that exist, like. But they always say you should have a radio record that you can use to push the album. It doesn't mean that that radio record or the community you're trying to reach with the radio record, that's your core. That's not your core. Your core are the guys who vibe to the album cuts, So my final say, or my conclusion will be, we should all know that this thing is a career, okay? These guys use this as a source of revenue, okay? So after doing it for a period of time, they get stats and analytics that guide them towards the choices they make as they keep on doing the career moving forward. The things, the songs they do, the kind of releases they do, the trajectory they took, like this Mr.Leo album, I would say what he did now is what he's comfortable doing, and he has realized, or maybe I'm just talking this from a business mindset of a businessman's point of view. He has realized that these guys, even if the album sells just 100 copies, these 100 copies, every time he release, he will get these 100 guys that will keep turning up for him over and over. And these are the guys who ensure that he can pay his bills, he can pay his rent, and he can do all this. So he can stick to these guys, okay? If these guys are crazy enough to keep pushing this song to the people closer to them, like in Nigeria, man, if you're close to that guy, he will play Ogene. You don't even understand shit in Ogene, but he vibes to it. You just play Ogene, yeah, but that's what he vibes to. He doesn't care if you sitting close to him vibe to it, but that's what he vibes to. Okay? And the person who sings Ogene is singing to that community, to that audience, because those guys will always show up when he drops that thing. So I believe Mr. Leo is using this route because he has a community that will show up. The community may have the price tag he has put on it. They are willing to support that price tag. You know. So we should stop thinking about we miss the old Mr. Leo who sing his love songs in French. We should think about the space he's in right now and why he's doing what he's doing. I just believe it's for a commercial reason. Okay? It's not for a mainstream reason. Maybe after this he may drop one or two mainstream songs, but his albums to generate money or to make revenue from your album, I believe this may be what we may be looking forward to every time he says he has an album coming, because this is the community that support him financially. And we shouldn't forget this thing is a job, it's a career. The aim of a job or a career is to pay your bills. Don't forget that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The ambassador.
Yeah. So for me, there are two things I want to say here. One is in the direction of nobody has an accurate or precise formula of what's going to make a hit or what's going to make you win a Grammy. All of these things is just you putting out your passion, your heart, and if people connect with it, it goes. Some of the strategy you might put in place to accompany those things, but how you do the art, what you're actually cooking, the main thing, just depends on how you feel, and if you connect to it, then it's good and fine. Back in the days when we were doing rap, it was the American rapping kind of thing that was vibing. When the Nabil's and the rest were like the rappers in Cameroon. Then Aksan Graf came with French rap, but now adding the crotals, drums with it. In the beginning, we felt like, what was Crota really doing? Then soon that's where everybody was going. Then Kopo came and killed it with his pidgin Frank Anglais all the way. We felt like, okay, this is something new, but it's not going to last for long. Then by the time I was out of Cameroon, Jovi just break the door open now with he's done for part totally paysan rap. And we saw that it was possible. And then Stanley took it abroad now, exporting it to Africa with MP. Some of these things, the masses could not predict it. That's what I'm moving to my second point, where I wanted to say the artists should not expect the fans to understand their strategy. We are not in that room with them. You, is your job, you want to pay your rent. I am going to work in my cocoa farm to pay my rent. I'm not here to strategize with you on how to pay your rent. So you strategize, pay your rent. Me, I want music that I can rest after I've cleared my cocoa farm. If I'm not happy with it, I'll tell you I'm not happy with it. If you're not making me happy, pays your rent, fine. But if you expect me to buy tickets for you to come and sing for an event with my mom that work in my cocoa farm, then you have to sing what I want. If I'm not the one buying that ticket for you to have your own rent, then good and fine, sing to those who will buy that ticket or those who will help you pay your rent. But me, I've paid my rent, I've worked hard for my money. After clearing my cocoa farm, what I want to listen to is Igo Beta, the Nayubi Matutule. If you don't give me that one, another day I drink and I feel like I want to now listen to their innovative, culture-driven thing. I will come and listen. But till then, you will not have my money. I've said my own.
Okay, very interesting.
I was talking like a fan.
yeah, because like I think I had the same. My thought process was along the same line. It's like I understand where a fan will be coming from if they say, I don't like this Mr. Leo. I want the Mr. Leo of Envagere. That's the person I fell in love with. And I will understand you. It's your taste of music. That's the kind of music you like. But also I understand Mr. Leo as an artist wanting to pay the bills, and he's seen like this is the way to pay, this is the way to go. So everybody has a point and everybody has a right to their opinion and a right to their taste. Yeah. So the fans have the right to complain. They're the ones listening to the song, and Mr. Leo has the right to put food on his table. But I just feel like it will be awesome for him to find that blend where the two things meet. That will be the awesome spot. And it can only happen from try and error. He just needs to keep trying and seeing what works and seeing how people relate. And yeah, so we're here to watch, we're here to observe, we're here to give our point of view. This is what we think about this one. And yeah, so that's it. If there's nothing to add, let's conclude. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And as usual, subscribe. The boy is smiling. Like, you're smiling like, if I say what I'm thinking.
No, nothing. I'm good.
If I say what I'm thinking, this place is scatter. Let me just keep it to myself.
No, I'm good. The ambassador said something interesting,
Oh.
That's why I'm laughing. It's funny. And that's the mindset most people have. So,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and make sure you thumbs up this video if you did enjoy it, because that tells YouTube that it's a good video. So tell more people about it, spread the word, recommend it to more people. So if you want this show, you want more people on board, then please thumbs up to this video. That really helps us. And you can also do the job and share. That would be awesome too. And make sure you're subscribed to Molitown, because this contrast journey continues over there. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being with us. Yeah, thank you for engaging.